Hello friends, today we will discuss a very important topic in our PE1 syllabus, Childhood and Growing Up. The topic is personality and traits. Under this, we will cover the following heads. First of all, we will see what is personality, the characteristics of a personality, and then we will see the major approaches to study personality. Last but not the least, we will see the tools which are available for personality assessment. Here, as you can see, our main focus is on the four major approaches to study personality. The first one is the type approach, second one is the trait approach, third one is the psychodynamic approach, and the fourth one is post-Freudian approach. Concept of personality. Personality is derived from a Latin word means persona. In psychological terms, personality refers to our characteristic ways of responding to individual and situations. These responses are unique to every individual and forms the behavioral aspect of a person's personality. Also, such personality characteristics do not change over a long period of time. They generally help an individual to adapt to their environment and circumstances. The approaches to study personality. First is the type approach. The Greek physician Hippocrates divided the people's personality in four parts. First one is sanguine, phlegmatic, melancholic, choleric. These were based on the fluid and humor. In the second part, we will see the Charak Samhita, which divided people in three parts: the Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. The Sattva is the Sattvic gunas, like higher order values. The Rajas means materialistic nature, and the Tamas means negative values such as anger, hate, etc. Sheldon classified the personalities into three types: endomorphic, mesomorphic, and ectomorphic. He used body build and temperament as his basis. Endomorphic personality involves fat, soft, round peoples. They are mostly related as relaxed and sociable. They are considered to be warmth and loving. Second one is mesomorphic. Mesomorphic people are generally strong, masculine, rectangular, and they are generally considered to be courageous and energetic. The third one is ectomorphic. They are thin, long, and fragile people, but they are considered to be very intelligent, brainly, and artistic. Similarly, Friedman and Rosman divide the personality in two types, type A and type B. Type A personality are highly motivated, they lack patience, fell short of time, but type B personality lack all such characteristic traits. Type A personality are more susceptible to problems like hypertension and coronary heart diseases. Morris added the third personality, type C. These personality peoples are generally cooperative, unassertive, and patient, but they are prone to cancer because they suppress their negative emotions and show compliance to authority. There is also a type D personality which is prone to depression. After the type approach, we have the trait approach to study personality. Traits form the basic component of a personality. They are relatively stable over a period of time and bring the basic differences in individuals with similar personality type. The first is the Allport traits theory given by Jordan Allport. According to him, he divided traits into three parts: cardinal traits, central traits, and secondary traits. As per his theory, an individual possesses a number of traits which are dynamic in nature. Individual approaches
For
different
example,
situations
running.
with similar plans.
If you are in a hurry, you run. If you are in fear, you run. If you forget something, you run. Certainly, there are different situations, but the plan is similar.
Also, according to him, people uses certain words and phrases which describes their personality type. The first is the cardinal traits. Cardinal traits are core to an individual's personality. For example, Mahatma Gandhi has a core of non-violence in his personality. The central traits are quite generalized but not as much as the cardinal traits. These are generally used for writing testimonials or job recommendations. The third one is the secondary traits. They are the least generalized traits like I like mangoes, like ethnic clothes. Sometimes the person might prefer western clothes, so they are just the secondary traits. The secondary traits are quite superficial in nature and might change over a period of time. The second theory in the trait approach is the Cattell's personality factor theory. Cattell tried to identify the primary traits from a huge array of descriptive adjectives found in languages. He used statistical techniques called fact analysis to discover the common structures. He divided them into two parts. First is the source traits. They are stable and considered as building blocks of a personality. The second are the surface traits.
They are the result of interaction of source traits and they generally show opposing tendencies. To prove his theory, he devised a test called 16PF, 16 Personality Factor Test. Here you can see the factors. There are 16 in number and the scores are being awarded accordingly. A low score is being awarded for a negative connotation and a high score is being awarded for a positive connotation. The first factor if we consider is warmth. If a person is cold and selfish, then the person will get a low score. On the other hand, if the person is cooperative, then the person will get a higher score. Thus, persons can be segregated on the basis of the scores devised in the 16 personality factor test. Now, in the trait approach, there are other theories which are not as much important but have been mentioned. You can see them on your screen. Third, now we will see the psychodynamic approach to study a personality type. It was given by the famous psychologist Sigmund Freud. The methods he used to study these personalities were free association, in which he openly shared thoughts, dream analysis, and analysis of errors. The Freud's theory considered the source and consequences of emotional conflicts that a person feels and the ways the people deal with it. According to Sigmund Freud, there are generally three levels of consciousness which are present in a human brain. The first one is the conscious brain, which is aware completely. The second one is the preconscious brain, which is aware with observation. The third one is the unconscious brain, which is unaware but is the major reservoir for instinct or animal drives. It also stores the ideas and wishes which are not aware by the conscious brain, and these are the ideas which generate a psychological conflict in a human mind. According to him, people constantly struggle to find some sociologically acceptable ways to express their unconscious impulses. A good example of this is the system of marriage, which from ancient times has been devised to satisfy the sexual needs of an individual in a sociologically acceptable ways. Also, unsuccessful resolution of conflicts result in abnormal behavior, which can be seen in many individuals. He divided the personality structure into three parts: id, ego, and superego. Id is the part of unconscious brain. Superego and ego are the part of preconscious and conscious brain. The id comprises of the pleasure principle. It needs immediate gratification of primitive needs, sexual desires, and aggressive impulses. The id does not care for the moral values, society, or other individuals, whereas ego is the reality principle. The ego directs the id towards more appropriate way of behaving and satisfying its needs. Ego is generally patient, reasonable, and works on the reality principle. Example, if you want to eat, but you will wait for your parents' permission, whereas the superego is the moral branch of ego. After Sigmund Freud, there are post-Freudian approaches which are being given by Carl Jung, Karen Horney, optimism, Alfred Adler, Erich Fromm. Prominent among them are Erikson's search for identity approach and other approaches including behavioral approach, cultural approach, and humanistic approach. Any assessment of personality can be done through behavioral analysis, projective techniques, psychometric test, and self-report measurement. Hopefully, this video was informative and helpful to all my dear friends. Thank you.